People are jumping in. I can't put it there because Facebook. I can move this one here. I put this one on the outside. So close. Prestige worldwide.
Hello, what's going on, guys? Doing well? Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed your first day of NRA 2019. We first want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to come out here. We know a lot of you guys traveled to Indianapolis for the show, so thank you for being with us here today, because we know there's a lot going on besides just this. So my name's Sean. If you don't know me, I do marketing here for Olight in the U.S. If you look at our social media and that kind of stuff, you've probably seen me before. But I'm going to be guiding you guys today through some of our new products that we're coming out with in the next couple months here. So let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. All right. So we'd first like to talk about just a few groundbreaking products that we've made in the past, just to touch on. We've had the opportunity to make some stuff that not only has changed the way that we make flashlights, but also we think has changed, the way the industry thinks about lights as well. So 2007 was our first year as a company, so we've been around about 12 years, and the first flashlight we ever made was a tactical style light called the T20. If you guys have owned Olights for quite some time, you'll know that there's actually a lot of these still being used today. On our flashlight groups, on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. People are always posting, pocket dumps with their knives and firearms, and still these T20s that are all beat up still being used. So just wanted to show this one to you because that was the first flashlight that Olight ever made, and it paved the way for the next 12 years. In 2010, we made the SR90, by far one of the biggest flashlights we've ever made. It was a huge venture for us because we've never made something this wild. So in 2010, we made a light with 2,200 lumens and 1,000 meters of throw, which 9 years ago was just when flashlights were starting to get away from, the Boy Scout mag lights that had about 10 lumens. So having a 2,200 lumen light with 1,000 meters of throw in 2010 is ridiculous. So really proud of this one. And if you guys are familiar with the X9R, which is our current flagship light, those are 25,000 lumens. But if you look at the way this light looks, it's still pretty similar to the way the X9R looks. So not only was this special at the time, but again, this paved the way for what our larger lights look like all the way up until now. Next, this is our first weapon light we ever made. This is the PL1. Of course, this is a big deal because this brought us into the weapon light market. A lot of people like them. The switches are really easy to press, takes a single CR123A battery, and the original PL1s actually had a little blue indicator light, which a lot of people actually liked. We ended up doing away with it. We pretty much did that just for fun, but a lot of people liked them. We even had like futuristic sci-fi movies reaching out to us because they thought the blue light looked cool on guns. So it was really fun, but this light is huge for us because this let us know that we had a future in the weapon light market, and we knew that we needed to keep making this stuff. All right. So this brings us to today, 2019. So today we have, let me just bring this up. We have 3 new products to tell you guys about today. Maybe some stuff that you've heard about or seen some leaks on the internet recently. But yeah, we got 3 big new products to announce today. So to start this one off, I first want to have you guys think about what would be your favorite handheld flashlight. Okay? Let me just get through my notes here, sorry. I want you guys to think about what would be your perfect handheld flashlight. And think about the features that you guys would want on that. Would that be a comfortable grip? Probably really high performance? Easy charging, right? And also some fantastic run times would be nice as well. So today, we're going to take a look at the best handheld flashlight that we have ever made. We're also going to take a look at the best thrower / rifle light that we've ever made. And also we're going to take a look at the most advanced weapon light that we've made as well. And to kick it off, I'm just going to show you a quick little video I threw together showing you some of the functionality of the first light we're going to talk about. All right, cool. So here is the Seeker 2 Pro. This is the one you've probably been seeing some pictures of lately. but we're calling it a new level of experience because we're incorporating some features in a smaller style light like this that we've never done before. This is by far the most advanced, pocketable handheld flashlight that we have ever created. First off, 3,200 lumens. This is the smallest, most powerful light that we've ever made. Typically 3,200 lumens, you're gonna have something that's massive and kind of annoying to hold. So this way we were able to jam pack 3,200 lumens into a small form factor that you can take with you anywhere you go. We'll go ahead and show a comparison here because obviously the R50 Seeker Pro is going to be pretty similar to the Seeker 2 Pro. That's why we're calling this one 2. So you can look on here. We decided to do 3 LEDs with smaller reflectors instead of 1 large LED with an orange peel reflector. First of all, that's given us a better beam profile. If you shine this at the wall and take a look at it compared to the Seeker Pro, you're going to see that the actual roundness of the beam, the size of the hot spot, and then also the surrounding edges are a lot nicer to look at. And then also having 3 LEDs instead of just one allowed us to have a smaller diameter head. And then also we did a crenulated bezel on this one to make it look a little bit more aggressive, look a little bit cooler for you instead of the smooth one here. One of the huge differences of the Seeker 2 Pro is the fact that we're using a 21700 battery. In the R50 Seeker Pro, we use the 26650 battery. The 21700s are pretty much the new deal in battery technology. They're by far the strongest battery for the size. One of the issues with the 26650 is it's not a lot of power for how massive the battery is, so this is just a natural evolution of battery technology. You're getting 500 more milliamps in a smaller form factor. The 21700 battery is over 20% smaller than the 26650, and again, you're getting better run times with that as well. That allowed us to make the diameter of the flashlight over 13% smaller than the R50 Pro, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're holding both of them in your hands, you can really feel that difference in diameter. It's a lot more comfortable to hold for you guys. All right. One of the big things that we did on this light is we wanted to make it super comfortable to hold. Again, I was talking about 3200 lumens. That's a lot of power. Typically, lights are not fun to hold that are that powerful. Yeah, they're big and awesome and heavy, but I mean, do you want to walk 5 miles with one? Not really. So we tried to make it as comfortable as possible. We've integrated this industrial silicone material here on each side, and then these also have these finger grooves to go well with the grooves of your fingers when you have a fist grip. And then also it's texturized here where it's not uncomfortable or annoying over time, but it does stick in your hand really well. And then if we compare that to the R50 Pro, the original, all we did there is it was just a regular round flashlight. We did a little bit of milling here on there to give it a little bit more grip, but it was a pretty shallow milling. It's not as grippy as we wanted it to be. So with this form factor, with the grooves forming to your hand and also sticking to your hand with the silicone material, we definitely think it's a much better experience for you guys. And we do also have the original R50 up here and the new Seeker 2 Pro. So we'll get to a point here where all you guys can touch these lights and check them out, but you're definitely going to see how much better it is. Okay, a huge part of this light is the battery indicator and the lumen indicator. If you're familiar with the X9R, that's one of people's favorite features on that light, where it has these really awesome battery indicators that go up the sides of the side switch, and we decided to integrate that into the Seeker 2 Pro. We've got an R50 Pro here right next to it just to show you that it doesn't really do anything. It's just a switch. It will turn red when you put it in a lockout mode, but that's it. And it will turn red when your battery's really low, but we wanted to get a lot more detailed with that. We want you to always know how many lumens that you're at and what battery level you're at when you're doing that. So let me show you just an example of how it works here. Okay, so the way that works is for the battery level, it's super simple. There's 4 lights, right? So how do we show you your battery level when we use 4 lights? Well, let's cut it into fourths. So when it's right here, you're at 25% battery, 50%, 75%, and 100%. And when you're using your lumens, or when you're at your specific lumen level, it will actually show you in real time how much battery that you have based on the lumen level that you're using. So obviously, your runtime is going to be lower if you're using it totally on turbo versus if you're using it on low. So they automatically adjust based on what level you're at. And then on the lumen side here on the left, the way that we made it work is it starts at 400 lumens right here. Multiply that by 2, 800 lumens. Multiply it again, 1600 lumens, 3,200 lumens. So again, super easy to know what level you're at. Once you've owned this light for a day or two, you're gonna always remember, okay, I'm at 800 lumens, 1600. Just multiply by 2, and then the battery level is just 25, 50, 75, and 100. So super easy to understand. When the light is in lockout mode, this bottom LED here is gonna turn red, so you will know that it's in lockout mode. And then also, that will turn red when your battery is super low as well. All right, here's the cool part. So if you have an R50 Pro, you know that we're all about charging docks. So we decided to completely reinvent it and have it a little bit more minimalist style and make it a little bit easier to put it in. So what we have here is just one, and we attached it here. There's 2 ways that you can attach it. There's 3M tape that comes on it, in case you want to attach it to like a rental house or something like that. You don't want to screw it in. And then also, there's 2 holes right here on the body. You can probably see that there. And then you can screw it in if you want to put it in your garage or something like that. And the magnetic is so strong that we want you to put it upside down. And the cool thing about it is the actual L dock itself is basically just a transfer from a standard charger. So you can use a standard MCC magnetic charger, and all you do is you slap it on the top of the dock, and then you take the light, you put it on there, and then you can plug this in USB into anything that you have, a phone charger, something like that. Cool thing about this too is you don't have to charge the Secret 2 Pro with this dock. So in that video I showed charging it in the car. So you can use a regular MCC cable as well, and just get rid of that bypass and then just have it charging directly. So you can have it like this, or you can have it like that, all right? There's another really cool part about the L dock as well, and I showed it at the beginning of that video. So we like our stuff to be compatible, and we want it to be more compatible than ever. So we're gonna be selling these L docks for a pretty low price here separately, and you can actually use these docks for most of our rechargeable magnetic tail cap models, including the S series lights, which we're definitely known for, the H series, even going up to the Warrior X, M2R. So there's a ton of our models that you can use for this. In my office, I actually set up 10 of these together, just like this, plugged it all into a surge protector, and then I just have all my lights just sitting there. So I think a really cool setup, if you have a collection of our lights, is set something up like this in your garage. Every time you leave the house, you just go, I'll take this one. You just throw it in your pocket and leave. When you get home, take it out of your pocket, throw it up there, you're done. So really cool thing here, and again, we're going to be selling these separately, but yeah. And then also, if you have chargers set up anywhere in your house, in your car, something like that, you can just use those same chargers with the Secret 2 Pro. The only lights that would not be compatible with it would be the PL Mini, PL Mini 2, PL2, so those lights have a different polarity with the magnet, so just keep that in mind, but everything else you can use with these. Okay, cool. So let me show you just a quick little demo here. And while I'm showing you, I'm gonna have Mavis or somebody come up here and grab these, and they're gonna hand them out to you guys, and you guys can just pass them around and feel them and check them out. Because I know I've been talking a lot about user experience. So we want you to put it in your hands and check it out and feel it and see what I'm talking about here. All right, so while she's doing that, I'll show you here. So I just turned this one on, okay? Right here, I've got 4 lights on the indicator on the right side there. Also, by the way, these don't stay on because we think that would be kind of annoying for these indicators to stay on the whole time you're using the light. So they turn off after about 10 seconds. If you want those lights to come back on, you would just change the mode, and then you can see they changed right there. So right now where I'm at is I'm at 1600 lumens, and I'm at full battery. If you want to go through that 400, 800, 1600 lumen mode, all you do is turn the light on, and then just like just like any of our other lights, you just hold down the switch and that'll just automatically cycle through low, medium, and high. So that'll get you through 400, 800, 1600 by itself. And then if you double tap, just like all of our lights, it'll take you to the 3200 lumen mode. And that's the full turbo right there, okay? And then if you want to, from off, you can just hold it down. That'll take you to super low moonlight mode if you want to do that. So a lot of people say, oh man, 3200 lumens, I don't really need that in my bedroom. All right, well, I mean, there's moonlight mode too. And then from that moonlight mode, again, hold it down, cycle through, low, medium, and high. And again, just jump through. Double tap for turbo, and that's it. Also, if you want to, you can just hold down the switch. It'll get through that moonlight mode, and then that'll take you to the lockout mode, like what I was just saying. So when you hit the switch, that red light will turn on the battery side instead of the light turning on. If you want to go back to using your light again, say that you put it in your backpack, pull it out of your backpack after a few days, just hold it down, and then it's just back to regular business. And then just hold it down, and it'll just keep cycling through to wherever you want to go. And then also, you can do a triple click for a 10 hertz turbo mode strobe. Because, come on, let's have some strobe. So, all right. So that's pretty much how the Seeker 2 Pro works. Yeah, pass them around, check them out, turn them on. Just don't shine strangers in the face, hopefully, because that happens a lot in this industry. Okay. Especially when you're at a trade show and the booth next to you doesn't like flashlights. Okay. One thing we wanted to do is, since the LDOC is compatible with our other magnetic charging lights, if you guys happen to have an O-light on you right now that has a magnetic tail cap and can charge, we might not have enough, but we'll give you guys an LDOC with a cable right now. So if you got it, yeah, come on up. I guess run up. Yeah. Actually, go to Mavis over here.
Uh-oh.
Here you go. There you go.
Fight for the last one.
I won't touch that last.
What are you protecting? It's just a projector.
Hold on.
They're out?
Sitting here.
I don't know, they got skinny. Is skinny coming or not? It's coming? Okay. I can see up there my camera.
Okay, all right.
Is anyone sitting there?
With all that traffic on up.
We're going to get to when this stuff's on sale, but again, like I said, we are going to be selling the LDOCs separately, and they're not very expensive, so no worries there, all right? One thing I did want to mention before we moved on to the next light is I actually got to do something really cool a few weeks ago. If you've been following our social media, you'll probably realize I've been traveling a lot lately, and because of that, I had the opportunity to go to our factory and see real live production of the Seeker 2 Pro, because these are coming out soon. I got to see true production all the way from a big bar of aluminum, milling through the unibody bodies, and then going all the way through assembly, anodizing, all that stuff to the finished product, which I'm showing you here today. But that's not it. That's not the only thing I did. I actually went to assembly and I put a few together myself. A lot of them were wearing these funny little hats to try and not get your hair in the assembly and all that. But yeah, I actually put some of these lights together myself. But it was a really cool experience. Not only did it make me realize that I suck at putting flashlights together, but it also made me realize how well these lights are built. This is the most advanced handheld flashlight that we've made, but when I was putting it together, it wasn't really that hard. And actually, it was a pretty simple design in terms of assembly. But what that means for you guys, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, in terms of reliability and repairability, that's huge. We want all the features, we want the best technology, we want the best stuff. But wouldn't it be nice if the best stuff wasn't complicated so that we could fix it so that it was reliable, right? So it was really cool to see just how simple, it was to put these things together, but just how many features and how advanced it is for a small handheld flashlight. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. It was a really, really fun putting those together. And actually down the line, we have live videos going on all our social media. So for the live video people and all of you guys here, follow us on social media, because 2 of the lights that I put together myself, we're going to be doing giveaways for probably next week. So you'll be able to get some lights that weren't put together very well. So there you go. But it's free, all right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now for the good news. We're going to have a flash sale on these a week from today, Friday, May 3rd. So this isn't a prototype. This isn't, something that we're thinking about. These are coming out, and they're coming out in a week. And they're going to be at an awesome introductory discount. If you've seen what we've recently been doing, we want you guys to try out our stuff, and we don't want, pricing to be a huge barrier for you guys. So in order for you guys to try out our new lights, we want to give you an introductory discount to be able to get the new stuff very easily. So again, pay attention to our newsletter, our social media. We're going to start talking details next week about this sale, but just know that you're probably going to want to pick one of these up a week from today, May 3rd. All right?
And that ships with the LDOC?
Yes, it does. So the LDOC and the charging cable right here and the 21700 battery does come with it, and I think I have one up here. It also comes with a sheath here. In that video, you probably saw me taking the light out of a sheath and putting it on the charger, so it comes with that too. And these are pretty good. These are similar to the ones that come with the M2R Warriors if you have one of those. And that shows you just how small it is, because I'm pretty sure this is the same one that the M2R Warrior can fit in. And this is 3,200 lumens instead of 1,500 like the M2R. So it's pretty incredible. All right. Now, what we're going to do, and we're going to do this after each light that we talk about, is we're going to have some people come up, some cool YouTubers and stuff like that. We're going to have some people come up, and we're going to give a couple of these Sigrid 2 Pros away right now. We've got some brand new units sitting right over here, and a couple people today will be able to walk out with brand new units. And to start, we're going to have Mr. Such come up and pick the first winner.
Don, remember who supports you?
Don't look down in there. Okay. Let me see here.
You should flash
Use a
light.
flashlight. It's a shame nobody has a flashlight.
All right, the number is OL-142.
Not here, pick another one.
142. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna take a picture. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you get a photo op as well with your free flashlights. Yeah. Awesome. And I think Mr. Such here had a few words you want to say about maybe your experiences with Olight or something like that. I'm just putting them on the spot here, so.
One thing, and if you follow the channel, you know that I do a lot with Olight. But here's the funny thing about Olight for me, in my experience, and Sean, Jesse, some of these guys came out of Going Gear. And Marshall at Going Gear was the one who actually introduced me to Olight way before, Olight was getting all the flash sales that we're seeing today. But one of the things that Olight did that will always endear me to Olight is that when Marshall passed away, Fox, who is the owner of Olight, said, I'll give every bit of the proceeds that we make today to Marshall's family. $67,000. Now, Marshall was a really good friend of mine, but that really put me at another level with Olight. I'm going to tell you one other thing about Olight. Olight is a Chinese company, and so there is some flack to that. But one thing about Fox is he set up to profit share with his employees, which is huge for Chinese companies, and a strong capitalist and trying to do things the right way. So, that's a couple of things that I just know about the inside. And guys, the lights are just great. Honestly, I've been carrying Olight now, and I say this on all these videos, for about almost 7 years now as my standard DVC. They're just excellent. And I have a lot of choices, so. Okay.
All right, thank you. So we're going to give one more away here before we move on to the next light. So let's have Mr. Jared from Guns and Gadgets come up. Have your tickets in your hands, folks.
119.
119. Man, people in the back are getting lucky. Does anybody else want to stand up? Stand back there? All right. Thank you. Yeah, you want to talk? Sure, absolutely.
Can't be outdone. Many of you, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a police officer. And for me, carrying something that I put my life on the line with every single day means a lot. I love Olight. I put them through some torture tests. I wear one on my hip. I have an M2R Warrior every day. I carry a PL2 Valkyrie on my sidearm, and I have also something new on my rifle. But I can tell you that, hands down, it runs. You can count on it when you need it. And for someone who works when everybody else is asleep, for me to put my life on the line, it means a lot to me. So you can trust this light. I mean, you really can't say that about some products, but I trust my life to it.
Thank you. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, let's move on to the next light we're talking about today here. Okay. So we think it's time for a new thrower. It's been a few years actually since we've come out with a flagship thrower, and so we think it's time. But we also think it's time for the ultimate long gun rifle light as well. So why not we put both of those in the same light? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So the brand new thrower that we're coming out with is 2100 lumens, and it has 1080 meters of throw. So let's go ahead and before we say anything else, let's take a look at that real quick. So. Ooh, all right. Here it is right here. You can see that it's desert tan color, which is pretty cool. So these are going to be coming out in black and desert tan. One cool thing about this light is you can manipulate it. You can hold it down and manipulate it with the side switch if you would like. It also has a battery indicator here, which I will talk about in a little bit. But you can fully manipulate it from the side switch if you want to do that. And then also you can manipulate it from the toe switch that we're going to talk about in a minute here. But yeah, you can really crank it up. Of course, this is gonna have a really tight beam compared to the Secret 2 Pro, because this is designed for that. This is gonna have a single LED with a smooth reflector, a larger reflector to get that type of performance. But if you have the M3 XS, which is the previous thrower that we came out with, you'll see that this is a much nicer hotspot. And sorry, Jesse, but I'm standing it at the wall to show everyone. Even for a super tight beam like this, oh man, I got it. All right, we do this a lot, yeah, for every day. Yeah. You can see the actual beam profile itself is perfectly round, and then look at the surrounding light around that. That's a really nice beam profile, guys. And then also, if you look at the overall light, going all the way to like the corner of the room, the larger light, doing this, that's perfect too. The edges are super clean, and this is a huge focus for us as a company, as we're absolutely obsessed and we nerd out over the beams themselves. We don't only want the lights to physically look cool, have good performance, be rechargeable and all that stuff, but we care so much about the beam itself. So I just wanted to show that to you, but I was just doing that with the side switch. So we can crank through it here, 4 modes here with the side switch. It's a pretty white beam as well, which is nice for a thrower. That's pretty hard to do as well because a lot of throwers have a de-domed LED, which makes it kind of yellow, just like the M3 XS. So this is a pretty white, nice, cool white style beam for a thrower, which is definitely hard to achieve if you know about that technology at all. So I'll go ahead and crank it off there with the side switch, and then of course we can throw it on here with the tail switch as well, which we'll be talking about in a minute. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about some changes here from the previous M3 XS, because the Javelot Pro, which is the name of this new light, is the successor to the M3 XS. So first things first, we did do an integrated battery pack with the light. So before you had to use either 3 CR123s, so 3 batteries, kind of annoying, or you'd have to put an extension on the body of the light, and then that way you could use 2 18650s. But then you have a lot of moving parts there. You got a lot of batteries in the light, which hurt reliability, hurt performance with all those lights daisy chained, or all those batteries daisy chained in the light. So we decided to just go with the best performance possible, go with the rechargeable route, which is pretty much what we do with most of our lights at this point. So this battery pack has 2 18650s that are integrated into the pack. And of course you can screw it off from the head for repairability and you know, that kind of thing. You can, you know, we will be warranting these bodies, and we will be selling these bodies separately as well if you want to get some more. All right. Let's see here. Okay, detailed battery indicators. I was talking about that a minute ago. So what's really cool about this one is we integrated the same type battery indicator in it as the S2R Baton 2 and the S1R Baton 2, and what that means is it's a 3-stage battery indicator is what we call it. Previously on the M3X, which is right here, it had just a red low battery indicator, so nothing would happen unless the light was locked out, which will turn red. Or if the light had a super low battery, around 10%, that would turn red. So now we've integrated the 3-stage switch, which I'll show you here. But also I want to show you the texture of the switch itself and the material. So on the M3X here, it's a hard plastic, and it just has these lines cut into it, which gives you a little bit of grip, but it's still not that great, and pressing it, it doesn't feel very soft. So again, we went with this hard silicone type material, where it has these little bumps all over it to give you a ton of grip, and it has a lot more clickiness to it, I guess you could say, to give you a better feedback when you're clicking it up and down, changing through those modes. Here we go. So it'll be green when you turn the light on if your battery is anywhere from 75% to 100%. It'll be yellow if your battery is anywhere from 30% to 75%. And then if your battery is 30% or lower, it'll turn red. So It's not as detailed as the battery indicator on the Secret 2 Pro, but we feel like a 3-stage indicator is pretty good compared to other lights on the market. So at least you know, okay, I'm fully charged, I'm halfway, or I'm almost dead. We have an improved tail switch. So we have a similar style tail switch to the M2R and the Warrior X. We have received awesome feedback from you guys about these switches. Number one, people use the crap out of these lights, and you'd be amazed how many rubber switches that we see that are totally worn down from people rubbing their fingers up against these switches thousands and thousands of times when they use their lights for work and stuff like that. So this does away with that. Stainless steel tail switch. It's stronger than a finger, right? So it's gonna last for a super long time versus that rubber. Also, it's gonna stand on its tail a lot better because instead of having just these smaller points of contact, you have the entire tail switch that's able to sit on a table or something like that. It's also magnetic, which is really nice. And also having this technology in the tail cap is allowing us to have the magnetic charging as well. So you're going to be able to use the magnetic chargers on this. And there's also another really cool feature that we have on it as well, which I'll talk about in a minute here. I want to talk about this real quick. If you saw us at SHOT Show or you saw that video, we talked about a prototype of this light a little bit. I know it's transitioning here to what we currently have, but oh boy, there. So that was the original form that we had. It was very light, a shallow milling, which ended up being pretty smooth. It was pretty comfortable, but it wasn't very grippy. And so our CEO, he gets inspiration from a lot of different things for the designs of the lights. If you have the M1T, we were talking about that before, the M1T Raider, the M1T Plus Raider, we call it a double helix type milling on the body because our CEO told us it looked like DNA to him and it looked like life. So, you know, he's not just inspired by cool tactical stuff, but he's also inspired by a lot of different things in life. So the DNA milling is really cool on the M1Ts, and I thought this was really funny. I was talking to him about why we switched to this, and he said, well, it's more lightweight because we're decreasing the material in the body, so you're getting that. You're getting a lot more grip because it's a lot more aggressive, but also I kind of think it looks like dinosaur scales. And so, and he said, and I love dinosaurs. So it's kind of cool. It kind of looks like a scale pattern, you know, that armor plating that's on some different dinosaurs, that Stegosaurus, I think. So yeah, that's why we did it. So functionality, number one, of course, it weighs less, it's easier to hold, you're not going to drop it, but you know, there's some inspiration there as well. Cool, here it is. So one of the big things about this is not only is it a cool handheld thrower, but also we have a magnetic remote switch for it as well. So if you guys got in on the Warrior X sale that we had recently, we have a short straight cable remote switch that also has a pressure pad that has a mount on it that fits really well on rail systems. So we have that as well for this light. Now it is a little big for little SBRs and stuff like that, which is why these have become really, really popular in the European market especially, because all those guys are running huge, big hunting rifles. They don't have the tactical stuff that we do due to laws. They pretty much just have rifles for hunting only. So because of that, having these big, awesome throwers on long guns is really nice. These will be for sale in June, and just to show you, if you have a bigger tactical style rifle, you can put these on there with our Picatinny rail mounts. But again, being able to use that remote switch on a bigger light I think is really cool. Magnetic charging on there is really awesome as well. Another thing that I wanted to touch on with this light, I know I didn't end up talking about it yet, but the run times on this light are absolutely awesome compared to the original M3XS. I'm just going to tell you guys a couple things here real quick. So this is 2100 lumens, the previous M3X was 1200 lumens. At that 2100 lumen mode, the runtime is double compared to the 1200 lumen mode of the M3XS. So you're getting 900 more lumens, double the runtime, which I think is really, really cool. The medium mode, which is really useful, I usually use most of my lights on medium because they're just so powerful, but the medium mode is still 600 lumens. So medium on the M3XS here is 600 lumens, medium mode is 600 lumens here. We got your guys' feedback, we found out 600 was pretty good for a medium mode. The 600 lumen mode on the new light is a 5-hour runtime. The 600 lumen mode on the previous M3X was only an hour and a half. So you're getting 3.5 more hours with the same lumens. The low mode is 150 lumens, which is the same low mode as the M3XS. That low mode on the new light lasts for 23 hours compared to the previous low mode, which lasts for 12 hours. So you're getting 11 more hours on that low mode. So everything is at least doubled in terms of runtime. Being out in the woods with something like this, run times is one of the biggest things that we took seriously with this light. So the fact that we were able to double, triple, quadruple everything on all the different lumen settings, I think is huge for this one and a big selling point for it. So again, these will be for sale sometime in June. We don't have an exact date for it, but we know that it is going to be in June, so stay tuned for that. And with that said, we do have a couple here to give away, all right? So you guys will be able to leave, you guys will be able to leave with these, all right? For the Javelot Pro, we're gonna have Mr. John from 8541 Tactical come up and pick up first winner for the Javelot Pro, all right? The pressure's on. Don't mess this up.
Everybody back ready?
Got the winners back there.
All right. You got OL-114.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's get a picture real quick. Oh, yeah. So since these are coming out in June, that's actually really cool because that's a prototype. We're not in full 100% production on these lights yet. So you got a prototype, man. That's awesome. Yeah. If you're a collector, that's really awesome. I didn't put that one together. I don't know how to put that one together. Okay, cool. Let's give another one away. So let's have Mr. Skinny Medic come on up. And get this next one away. Pick somebody like in the back seats. Yeah. Okay, front row, yeah.
150?
150?
150, out the door.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I guess we'll do another one. Yeah.
Start up a little bit.
Guy shouldn't have gone to the bathroom.
Alright, OL-137.
Come on.
Are you kidding me?
Really?
137.
Did anyone lose their ticket?
Yeah.
137. I'll take that one too.
Okay. We got two coming your way. Third time's the charm. Come on. Hey.
I got his flashlight. You're good. 145.
Really?
Let's just keep going. We want winners, man.
Seriously, Skinny Medic, come on.
006.
006.
So they told us that the capacity of this room was 100 people, and I think we're totally breaking that. So I'm hoping one of the 130, 40 people that are in here will be picked this time. Man.
138.
Is this really happening? Shake it up, man. This is. Are we being punked right now?
120.
All right. Come on.
They told me it was easy to give stuff away. You guys are making it hard, man.
Go Cubs!
You took the ski man from a class.
All right.
Awesome. Now that's over with. Let's let's move to the final light of the presentation here. And whoops! Oh, I didn't turn the music on. Oh, that's why. Okay. We're gonna show you a really cool video here that was put together by that guy. He looks so cool when he shoots. I look like an idiot, so there we go. So guys, we want to change the industry today, and by that we want to bring something new to the market that you guys have never seen before. Now, it is a similar form factor to a light that we've made, but this has brand new functionality and it features some stuff that people have been asking us to do for over a year. So we honestly made this light due to people's feedback. When we keep hearing the same thing over and over again by a bunch of different people, we tend to want to do it. And I think that's one really cool thing about Olight is I don't know that many companies that I buy stuff from that legitimately make lights and make changes to lights or make changes to any products just based on what their fans are telling them. So that's one of my favorite things about Olight is we did this for you guys. This is why we made this thing. 1,500 lumens. This is the highest lumen pistol light ever. And the funny thing is, before we came out with this light, the highest lumen pistol light ever was our PL2. So we've gotten to the point where we're no longer trying to beat the competition in terms of performance. We're just trying to beat ourselves because we've already beat the competition. Let's take a look at this real quick. 280 meter beam distance on a tiny little light, which is also pretty wild. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the competition. This is my favorite slide. Would you get that? PL Pro, all right? This is the new light. We like the Pro name this year, if you can't tell. So we got the Javelot Pro, PL Pro as well. Let's take a look at this. 1500 lumens, TLR1HL, one of the most popular weapon lines, 800 lumens, APL 400, X300, XH30, XH35, of course super popular, 1000 lumens on all of those. So even the most advanced weapon lights on the market from our competitors, still 500 lumens less than the PL Pro here. We did this for you guys. We get asked this actually on a daily basis on social media. People want a rechargeable PL2. So we're doing away with the two CR123s. It's making the body a lot more robust because you don't have batteries that are bouncing around on the inside of the light. And now it's a fully integrated battery that works with our magnetic charging system. If you guys have one of our PL Minis, our PL Mini 2s, or the PL2s, you'll know that the magnetic polarity is different on those. So unfortunately, you can't use your S-Series chargers and your H-Series Warrior X. You can't use those chargers with the current PL Mini 2. Well, this light actually finally takes the same magnetic chargers that our handheld lights take. So, yeah, right? So say you're in the car on the way to the range and you're charging up your PL Pro, and then when you get out of your car, you can plug in your Warrior X with the same charger, or your S1R, S2R, H1R, anything that you have, it's the same charger, guys. Also, I know what you guys were thinking. Oh my God, 1500 lumens indoors? That's insane, right? So it has two modes, okay? I like to think of it as an indoor and an outdoor mode, or a pistol mode and a rifle mode. So there's a low mode that's 300 lumens, and the high mode, of course, is the 1500 lumens. I think 300 lumens is pretty good for indoor use, self-defense, stuff like that. But of course, you want max lumens on a rifle, so you can just do a quick double tap on either side of the switch, and that'll cycle through that 300 and 1500 lumen mode. It also features a lockout mode. Now, it's not easy to do. You're not going to accidentally lock your light out because it requires holding down one side, holding down the other side after that, and waiting until it turns off. So you really have to try to lock it out. So it's not like when you're using it, you're going to accidentally hold one side, then hold the other side, hold that down for 5 to 10 seconds, and then accidentally put it in lockout mode. So you have to force yourself to put it in lockout mode. But this is awesome for all the people who have these lights sitting in their safes, sitting in gear bags, things like that, where you really don't want 1500 lumens to turn on and burn a hole through your bag. You know, turn on in your safe, that's probably not good either, right? So we wanted to integrate this lockout mode. We think it's really cool. And again, if you don't want to use the lockout mode, you don't have to, but I think it's really good when you're putting your gear away in a bag. There's a quick look of it on a Glock. As you can see, the form factor of it is pretty close to the PL2. So you're not working with a huge, massive light. It's still a very competitive form factor compared to the other high lumen options on the market. And then again, can I use it on a rifle? Absolutely. And the reason why it's really awesome on a rifle is because, again, it's a dual purpose magnetic area on the light, which means that not only are you going to use that for charging the light, but also you're going to use that for a magnetic remote switch as well. We integrated these little lips right here on each side of it, which makes it so much harder to accidentally pull off. I've tried. I mean, you really have to forcefully yank it off kind of backwards to get it off. If you try and pull on it, like how you would maybe pull on it using the remote switch, you can't get it off. It's in place. And also it has these really cool machining right here. Our CEO really likes to show off the machining. So he did this. I think that looks really cool, made it a lower profile. Again, it is a flat, straight, short cable. So these are great for SBRs, AR-15s, stuff like that. She's going to be passing that fake blue gun AR around. Oh, okay. Yeah. let's not pick his ticket, okay? No. But yeah, this is awesome, guys, and it's the same functionality as the Warrior X and our other magnetic remote switches. So you can hold it down for momentary. When you let go, it'll turn off, or you can do a quick click, and that'll be a constant on. And these bad boys will be for sale at the end of May. So only, maybe around 3 to 4 weeks from right now. We don't have the exact day of when they're coming out, but just know that you'll be able to pick these up at the end of next month. So we've got next Friday for the Seeker 2 Pro. We've got end of May for this, and then we've got June for the Javelot Pro. So let's go ahead and show you guys a quick demo of how this light works, because I explained some functionality there. So I'm going to show you this one as well. We've got another Desert Tan offering. So these are going to be available in black and Desert Tan. We've started doing this because the demand for Desert Tan we found is super high. All of the Desert Tan lights that we have made up to this point, they sell out immediately. Like, it's unbelievable. So we have to keep doing this. We know you guys want it. So most of our tactical type offerings, of course, stuff that we're talking about at SHOT Show, NRA Show, is going to be coming out in Desert Tan, including this gorgeous Javelot Pro. You guys got to check this thing out in a little bit here. So we got it right here. Magnetic charging on the bottom. It looks exactly the same as the magnetic charging tail caps that we have on our handheld lights. And then again, it has these little lips on here to keep it from moving. And if you guys are playing with it, the people with the remote switch, try and like pull on it, man. It's hard, yeah. So to change the modes, all you do is you can turn it on either side. So just click it on, either this side or this side, constant on with a quick click. And then if you click it and hold it, when you let go, it'll turn off just like the remote switch, same functionality. So we're not teaching you different things to do. You always know that quick click means always on. Momentary is I hold it as long as I want to and let go and then it turns off. Strobe, again, just like the PL2, is if you hit both sides at the same time, that'll take you to strobe. Again, if you're not a strobe guy, then just don't hit both sides at the same time. Most people are hitting just one side, because that's how you hold a gun. You want to just hit one side. So yeah, it's just kind of a hidden feature. Some people like it, some people don't. There you go. To change the modes, when it's on constant on with a quick click, you double click either side, and that'll take you to the different modes. So you can see here. All right. Cool thing about it too is it has memory. So if you only like it on low mode, when you turn the light off on low mode, any way that you manipulate it after that is still going to be on low. So momentary is low, constant on is low until I want to double click again to get to that high mode, and then I'll turn it off here. Since I'm on the high mode when I turned it off, I'll click it back on and it's on high again. So you got the memory there as well, depending on how you're using the light itself. And that's pretty much it. So ambidextrous switches, similar feel to the PL2. Big differences here is also it has the lockout mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold one side. I'm going to now press the other side and hold that down. And then I held it down for about 5 seconds, and now it's in lockout mode. So when I hit the switch, it's just going to give me a quick blink, but it's not actually going to turn on. Now to bring it out of that lockout mode, I'm going to hold one side again, then hold the other side, and then that'll take you to regular, normal functionality. So again, I mean, there's no way you can accidentally do that. I mean, you really have to think about locking it out. But this is great for people who say, you know, I'm just gonna throw this on one of my safe guns. I'll probably play with it every few months, which is fine, that's okay. But if you're gonna put something in a safe and you're only gonna play with it every few months, lock it out, why not? So that's how the PL Pro works. All right. Let's jump into a raffle, shall we? And let's get some music on it too so people can be picked, right? All right. I love this song too. Just makes me feel good. All right. Let's get, let me look at my list here. Apologize about that. Hank Strange? Is that right? Yeah, Hank Strange? Come on up.
It's pronounced Strange.
Strange. Please be here.
All right. 128. Really?
No? Oh.
132.
And then just pick a color. All right, since you're the first winner, you can pick which color that you want. And then we have the remote switch with it, all right? So, there you go. There you go, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Did you do a picture? Oh, man, come on, man. Awesome, cool. Thank you. Very cool. All right, the next giveaway picker is Birdshot IV. All right. And they've got really awesome knife videos on YouTube. If you guys are into like high-end pocket knives and stuff, they've got really cool stuff. So.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Back seats too. All right. Thank you. Okay. And there it is. Awesome. Cool, thank you. Okay. So we talked about all three, all right? So let's go ahead and do a quick summary, quick recap, because you might have forgotten about what I said in the very beginning. So the Seeker 2 Pro, again, is coming out with a hefty discount a week from today, March 3rd. So stay tuned if you want to grab one of these. Stay tuned to our social media, and also go to our website, olightstore.com, sign up for our newsletter. We don't blow you up. We just tell you when you can save money and get good deals on stuff. So join our newsletter. And the Javelot Pro, again, will be available in June, so stay tuned for that. PL Pro will be available at the end of next month in May. Let's go ahead and talk about them real quick again. So the Seeker 2 Pro, we've received awesome feedback too from our reviewers and people that we have who test our lights. They really like the way this feels, the functionality. I really like it. I went to the factory and built one. I mean, I love this light. The indicators on each side with the battery and the lumen levels, the integrated silicone grips, the charging that works with the standard S series chargers. If you have an R50 Pro, you'll know that the charger for it is bigger, and it's the only light that works with that specific charger. So now you don't have to use that only charger that works with the R50 Pro. You can just use any other magnetic charging cable you have for any of our other lights. So say that you get a Seeker 2 Pro and a PL Pro, use the same chargers, right? 3200 lumens, it's got that 3 LED system, crenulated bezel, 21700 battery with a 5000 milliamps. It's got one of the coolest chargers that I've ever seen that's also compatible with your other magnetic charging lights. I don't know, man. I don't know why you wouldn't want to pick one of these up if if you guys like high-end, awesome flashlights, okay? And again, they're gonna be at a really awesome discount a week from today, all right? The Javelot Pro, I harped on the run times. The run times are insane. 900 more lumens on turbo and double the turbo run time as the previous M3X. And the M3X was already a really good light. And we're doubling run times here. On the medium mode and low mode, we're quadrupling run times and even more. So it is insane. The milling is really cool. I'm sure now that you guys have heard me talk about how this looks like dinosaur scales, you're always gonna think about that when you use your light. The fact that a light this big is coming out in Desert Tan, I think, is really cool. Desert Tan, we've only done up until this point smaller stuff like the pistol lights. We did recently do it with the Warrior X, and that sold out in a few hours. So we think that this is going to be a great seller for us here, the Javelot Pro and Desert Tan. And of course, everything we make comes in black as well if you prefer that. The PL Pro, the highest performance compact weapon light ever. 1500 lumens, insanity. 300 lumens on low mode if you're going to be using it inside, clearing rooms, things like that. It also has the magnetic charging, so you don't have to worry about running around with pockets full of CR123s. It's got a remote pressure switch when you want to throw this thing on a rifle. And the reason why we said change the industry with this light is because a lot of people with SBRs, smaller rifles, the 9mm rifles and stuff like that are super popular right now. I love my CZ Scorpion, but the problem with the CZ Scorpion is it's really small and it has a really small rail. So you're kind of limited on options. Do you want to put a full-size light on a gun that small? Not really, it's kind of annoying. It's going to make it a lot heavier, it's going to be in the way. So this way, there's no compromises. You get to put something on your small rifle that is the size of a pistol light, but you're also getting the convenience of a remote pressure switch instead of having to reach around and try and hit the side switch that is not built for rifles and built for pistols. So there's no compromises. You're getting the small form factor, huge performance, good run times, and a remote switch that makes it super easy to use. So for that new market, you know, some of the really small stuff like the SIG Copperhead and all this new stuff coming out that's super small 9mm rifles, I think these are really cool for. And I've put one of those on my Scorpion and it is awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching the presentation. That's pretty much it for this part of it. Now we can just kind of mingle and hang out. You guys can bother the famous people that are here, the YouTubers, if you like. Yeah, grab a drink, hang out with us, ask us questions. Please come up to this table and play with our lights. We put this table out here so that you guys can touch stuff and check it out. Also, you can check these out here that I've been playing with as well. And thank you guys so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
All right.